Hello, everybody. My name is Pup Team from the Geeky Pup Show here on the Geeky Pup Show today. For what? For Halo. Yes, we are here.
Halo. Yes, it's Halo.
That's our new intro. I'm going to clip that. It's just going to be Frog going, Halo, well, in front of the logo.
Yes. Brought to you by the letters F and the number. We don't need a number. We're poor.
We'll just do another letter. It'll be you. Anyway, well, things are happening. Where we left off last time, it comes straight into here as Master Chief John is taken to the planet that he saw last time. His inhibitor chip is now gone. So he is experiencing the full emotion of being
But
here.
we learned he's not the only one. Well, the way that the episode starts off, though, I gotta say, it starts off, I believe, with Soren, who is the other. He's the one that originally escaped. He's the one that, that Master Chief helped escape the program. He takes the little girl, her name is
Quan.
Takes her back to Madrigold, or Marigold, Madrigold, whatever. Takes her back to her planet. She wants to basically connect with her father's generals and stuff, and try to rebel against the evil warlord that's taken over her planet. So they end up going there, but while that's going on, we run into basically one of the I believe it's Spartan 125 or whatever. One of the Spartans, the blonde, she ends up we see the flashback. She actually saw Master Chief cut out his hormone implants, and she copies the same thing too, and then she starts feeling emotion stuff. When she's in there cleaning her gun, she takes the this is weird. She takes like the axle grease, if you use like the mobile grease that's red, and she puts it in her hair and gives herself red streaks in her hair. Since Dr. Halsey's gone, so she's kind of rebelling. She's kind of realizing that she's remembering things too, and she's forced to work with Halsey's daughter, along in the two other Spartans as well, because they're studying the artifact. And then she's starting to realize that that this little girl sees them only as robots, not as human beings at all, and she takes offense to that. Because the two Spartans went before her, touched the artifact, and she usually goes behind the protective shield. But when it was her turn, she's like, oh, it's like you don't really see us, as human, as human. No, you see us more as machines. She's like, what? And then she quick touches the thing even before the girl can be on the glasses, giving the girl a heart attack, which I thought was kind of funny. But she's.
I just have to say, apparently Ed Brewer thinks that gun grease and hair is hot. So.
Well, it looked more like the mobile. Like I said, if you ever had a mobile can of mobile soap grease, you open it up and it's red, it's waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, and you get to see her butt and the top of her butt. That's for those who were worried about that stuff. Don't look.
Okay.
No. So that's going.
Sadly, speaking of that, we see another one's but too, the warlord, the one who has taken over Madrigal.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I wasn't looking at that.
Well, you're lucky. But no, he basically goes ahead and he hires himself somebody and tells them, hey, I need you to deal with this little girl Quan and her protector Soren, her friend.
Yeah, because word is that she's on, she's a loose end, and she's also warrant out for her arrest. But he doesn't want to create a martyr, so he gets this girl to basically to go and assassinate her, and she almost does. Unfortunately, she ends up killing the Quan's aunt, only living aunt, who reveals to her that her father wasn't a very nice person, that he changed once he saw these mystics that live out in the desert. And so yeah, and she's like, "There's no money left, So Soren ends up rescuing her after he shoots the female assassin a couple times,
but not before the female assassin kills her aunt.
Yeah, those afterwards. Yeah, I said
sad.
Yeah, and they escape on a motorbike that he stole from a person.
Can you tell me how many motorcycle chases there are in the original Halo games?
There actually are no motorcycles in the games at all, but there are warthogs. And I gotta say, this is now get away from the whole Soren stuff. That's all new added content. It has nothing to do with the story at all. It's just a side story, whatever. The warthog, when they show the warthog here, when they see them driving up and down at the base over on Reach planet, they got the guys manning the cannons always. But then, because Master Chief goes with Dr. Halsey and his lab assistant, they fly to his homeworld where John was actually lived with his parents. Yes, it's revealed that John used to, before the Spartan program, he lived with his parents in one of these biodomes on one of these barren planets they're trying to create life on. They restart it so people can live on there. So only the one is surviving globes there, because he is no longer on the hormone implant and he touched the artifact. He's able to re-jog his memories. They said he's been able to reconnect memories, where in the part of the brain where there shouldn't be any. And it's scaring one of the lab assistants to Dr. Halsey, because he's like, we don't know, we can't control him. He's like, well, that's what Cortana is for. Yeah. But I did like the fact that he's acting more with Cortana, and I'm wondering if Cortana will develop her own conscience and actually by being connected to John. Because in the games she actually helped John. She learned, that John was her priority no matter what, even ignoring Dr. Halsey. And we learned that basically that John basically he knew where the other reason he was drawing the drawings when he was little of the other device, alien artifact, is because he'd been to it. He'd followed him and his dog, snuck through one of the barriers, or the fences, went past the border and outside the dome, and they were able to. He found a cave, went in there, and he touched it. It became active, so now he knows exactly where it is. But in order to figure out where it is and get these memories back, he had to hook up with Cortana. Cortana, through his visor, was able to recreate what the inside of his house looked like by using his memories. But then John started remembering stuff too, and she's like, Cortana's like, told Dr. Halsey, I'm not doing this. He's doing this on his own. So yeah, the only thing that's problem with this show is the fact that they showed John without his helmet. There's times where he's not even with his armor on. It's the point. It's like the whole point of Halo is you didn't know, and I think that's where the people in The Mandalorian and realize that too is like you can't really show who it is, even though I guess because remember they showed Boba Fett without his armor, when he was younger. Django showed his father without the helmet on, but for the show they realized you can't show him who he is because it ruins the mystery. That's the whole lure thing. Like you want to learn more about these characters, but you don't. The whole point is you never see their face. Like when you saw in The Mandalorian, he took his helmet off, but you saw the back of his head. That's what was in the original Halo games. You never saw John's face. You just knew his name was John, but you saw the back of his head. Now is it. He never went out of the armor. And people wonder why a lot of people don't like the show. But to be fair, only games 1 and 2 were actually kind of cool. 3, Reach was it was all right. And then it just started getting retarded after that.
Yeah, he is constantly without the helmet.
Yeah, and that's what's really ruining it for me. But Cortana, even the Cortana design, it's not perfect, but it's growing on me. It's not horrible. It's not like it's just someone in a. Actually, I take it back. I wouldn't like the painted blue costume.
Well, of course you would, Frog.
You know what?
No, Cortana isn't bothering me near as much anymore. But the daughter that we talked about before.
Oh my gosh!
Towards the end here, tells the other Spartan that's broken free of the program, the hormone implant.
The way you fix this show, you drop all that other nonsense. You just focus on Chief the whole entire time. You don't need other characters. Sorry. You could have characters that Chief runs into, the Spartans, but you don't need this Halsey's daughter. You hardly even need Halsey.
I don't like how young Halsey's daughter looks, but I will say actually it's an interesting character moment that we see right here, it's an interesting character moment, and I did actually like that more than I like the Master Chief stuff in this episode.
But the reason that Halsey's daughter's in there is because having the Spartan lady taking her hormone suppressant, or emotional suppressant, pill out, is that way. Because when Halsey's daughter notices this, like, you're different. She's like, I don't know if it's a glitch, but my mom has a way of she does not like anything she cannot control. And the fact that you're showing any signs of being a human, humans are messy. That's why she doesn't like me.
Yep.
And like I said, Combat Evolved, yes. The very first game, I love it.
Yeah.
And we hardly see Master Chief fighting anybody.
Nope.
We saw it in the very first episode, him and the 3 other Spartans.
Yep.
Spartan team, and they were going after and defeating grunts and stuff, invisible ones too as well. But where's the little guys? It's the Demon! They run around.
We're going to see what Master Chief does in the next one, because he has led Dr. Halsey to the second artifact. And as Halsey's daughter is telling the other Spartan about how her mother doesn't like glitches, we close up to John towards the back of his head.
Because John, the fact that John has memories back, and he remembered being a kid when his parents were alive and seeing Dr. Halsey in his house talking to him. He confronted her, and she's like, and she lied through her teeth. That lying bitch.
Yeah.
she's like, John, it's because your mind's it's recreating memories. Yes, I knew you were little, but because your mind's filling in the gaps, so it's all messed up. But she could tell as soon as he looked away, she knew.
Yeah. And we're going to have to wait and see until next week what this leads to.
Remember she always said that John's special?
Yeah.
I think she's always known it's the artifact has been there, or something's. That's why she was paying attention to John. She just couldn't access it herself.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. It seems John is one of the only few beings in the universe that can interact with these objects, but we're going to have to wait.
Except for one other peasant girl. Yep.
Well, she's not a peasant anymore.
Nope, she works with Covenant.
Yes, she is the alien's token human.
But oh my gosh, I gotta ask you one question. When they were digging up that crate, how much were you afraid it was gonna be the dog buried inside the crate?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. I kept thinking about
it because they never said what he buried. He's like, Dad, I don't want to do this. Because I was wondering, did the dog die? Did he have to bury his own dog?
Yeah. His dad did seem kind of cruel, but
he's like, oh, it's the wrong one. It's the dog. Oh God, no.
All right. That is it, though. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment with your thoughts on the show. Are you liking it? Do you hate it? Tell us why below. Also, make sure to check out the Ko-Fi if you can. We have more content coming out. A reading tonight here very soon. Make sure to check that out. And for Froggy and myself, thank you so much. And before we say bye,
Halo.
Eat at Halos, I guess.